Most guys think they'll be happy once they reach a certain goal. More money, more status, more freedom, more respect. But once they reach it, they feel empty. The reason is because they haven't trained their ability to be grateful. So the other day I went shopping with my dad. Man, it's so windy outside. But yeah, I went shopping with my dad and I felt like I was in this rut. So I was feeling pretty low energy because I came back from a run. I was slightly dehydrated, and because I felt low energy, I noticed I was in my head quite a lot. I spent less time talking, and I began to ruminate on all these different thoughts that came into my mind. And I noticed that when I do that, I tend to overthink and my mental health spirals. Honestly, that is why I think journaling is so important, because it allows you to get your thoughts from your mind onto paper. So that way you can live more present in the moment. But this video, I wanted to talk about gratitude, and it's something that I've been trying to apply lately. But I honestly think that it genuinely is life-changing. So earlier this week, I was just working on my computer and I was about to go to the gym when my dad called me and he needed help with pushing up a bracket for one of the installs at his job. And at first, I was a bit frustrated because I had plans on going to the gym, and it just was an interruption that I didn't expect in my day, right? So there was an interruption in my plan, and I was frustrated, right? And so when I was going to the site, I was traveling to there in my car, I was just in this negative frame of mind because I was just thinking, man, like, did he have to do this and all that? But when I got there, it was this nice neighborhood. It was a sunny day, unlike today. And I just like, my mindset changed. I honestly started to think, how blessed am I to complain about helping my dad when I live in such an amazing country. It's a sunny, beautiful day, and I'm in a nice neighborhood. Like, how privileged would I have to be to complain about that? And it wasn't negative, like, it wasn't fake in any way. But I genuinely, as soon as I started thinking, man, I'm actually quite grateful, to be honest. I'm so grateful that is what I get to complain about. And as soon as I started to think like that, I just began to think so much more positively. All my thoughts and the way I saw things it just changed. I just started to see everything as a positive, and I felt so much better. It actually reminded me of a time last year when it was quite similar. My uncle needed help because he was a manager for a theatre company, right? And because he was the store manager, this company closed down, and so we had to get the stock out of his like the storeroom thing, right? So I remember after uni, I took the train up the coast. It was like an hour train ride. And when I got there, we spent about 4 to 5 hours just moving furniture. This was a Friday afternoon. And it was hard work. And obviously there was other things that I could have been doing. But I honestly enjoyed it. And after we moved the stuff, because we had to take the stock from the storeroom in the shopping center to the van outside in the loading dock. And then after we did that, we drove back to our place, which was, again, another hour. And then we had to take the stuff from the truck into the storeroom. So it was like midnight, possibly even later. We were working on a Friday. And as I said, I felt so happy because I genuinely enjoyed it. I could have easily complained because, it's a Friday and I got to work and do all this. But again, it's like, why not have fun in that moment? I could have complained and thought about, I could have done this with my Friday instead of, doing this with my uncle. But yeah, it was genuinely enjoyable. I had fun. And my point is that the same event can be interpreted through different mindsets. I'm reading a book at the moment called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a pretty popular self-help book. But one thing that I read not that long ago, and I took notes on this because I thought it was pretty interesting. But he said happiness isn't dictated by external circumstances, but rather your mental attitude, right? The internal conditions. That's why people in Africa who have to basically, slave away doing rigorous labor in hot conditions all day, every day, just to survive, when they're starving and all that, those people can be happy and smile, and they're doing it with smiling faces, while people living cushy lives, working a 9 to 5 in an air-conditioned office, are miserable out of their minds. It's because your happiness isn't directly correlated to your external circumstances, but rather the mental attitude that you have. If you have a positive attitude, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. The internal thought life that you have is what's going to dictate your happiness. And so just like with when I was helping my uncle, I could have had a bad time. It would have been very easy for me to complain, to think about what I'm missing out on, just to have this negative mindset. But I didn't. And because of that, I felt so much more grateful, so much more positive. And I actually had a good time. And so I want you to really internalize this. But what ways are you thinking negatively? What ways are you intentionally sabotaging yourself? You're intentionally, by thinking negatively, you're going to live you're going to experience the same event, but you're going to process it in a negative light. So it's actually, you're making your own experience that you're going to have either way worse. So that's why I think this is actually life-changing. And it sounds really simple, but simply being grateful, simply being positive, even when you have something difficult to do, that honestly will change your life, because your well-being, your mental well-being, and the way you process everything will be so much better. And that's honestly what's going to give you the longevity to continue to work hard, to continue to show up when you don't want to. Because you will want to. It's like the things that you usually wouldn't want to, you still show up and do them because you see it in a positive way. I think journaling your thoughts every day and being grateful will really, really change things for you. So start small. I think gratitude journaling will really help you, but start doing it, because once you get in the mindset and the habit of always looking to be grateful, that's when your life experience will really, really benefit. So if this helps you, consider subscribing, consider commenting. Just do the algorithm stuff for me so I can get off 14 subscribers. But yeah, I hope this helps, and really practice and be more intentional in how you think positively and how you're grateful for the small things in your life.